This is the first time I've actually made what I call pork chop gravy. But I forgot to show you what I do at the start, so I'm just going to tell you. I just take a regular pan. I actually added some water, a total of a half a cup, but you can always add a little bit more water depending on how much gravy you want to make. And of course I also added some olive oil to the pan. Placed the pork chops in here. Added some Mrs. Dash table blend. Then I drizzled a little bit of garlic powder. And then I drizzle the top with a little bit of sriracha sauce. And all that is going to add flavor, not to mention all that natural fat blend in there. Oh yeah, that's going to give it some good flavors. It only takes a few minutes to cook the pork chops. We don't need to be making any messes here, because I am very well known for making messes. Run around the outer edge of each pork chop and just move the fat off the edges of them, because we want this fat in the gravy to add that extra layer of flavor. Okay, now that we are done with these seasonings, we can go ahead and put them away. So one of the things that I do not do is I never measure anything. I just don't like measuring. I like to guess. I know that sounds dangerous, but that's just the way I do it. So I'm actually going to add a little bit of flour just to get started, and then I'm just going to blend it in. I like to add just a little bit at a time, because if you over add the flour, you cannot go back. You can add more water to it, but you can always just add a little bit at a time till you get it to the consistency that you want it. Now see, all these is the pork chop fat right there. You see the edges with the olive oil in the edges. So that tells me that there's a little bit more room to add just a little bit more flour. See, I'm not adding much, I'm just adding a little bit. And here we go again.
A few moments later.
So now it's time for me to turn up the heat. Let's turn up the heat a little bit. So now what I want to do is get the heat going, and of course my cat likes to get up under my feet, as always. As soon as it starts to boil, that's when I'm going to be adding my milk. So I'm just going to keep on stirring because I don't want anything to burn. I always add a little bit of water to my gravy. Okay, there it goes. Now it's starting to bubble up a little bit. Now that's when we can actually check the consistency of the thickness. To me that looks perfect. See how thick it is? We need it to be thick like that because we're still not done, because we've got to add some milk to it. Alright, now it's bubbling up. Now it's time to add a little bit of milk, and I always add just a little bit at a time. Like I said, I don't measure anything. And then I blend it in. Doesn't that look pretty? We want it to be thickening up as we're blending the milk. That way I will know if I need to add more milk. Like I said, I like to add a little bit at a time. I don't like to measure. I just like to work with it as I go. Sometimes it may not come out perfect because I don't like to measure anything, but it always still comes out delicious, regardless. See, look at that. It's not just runny, and it's got all the bits and pieces of pork chop fat in it. See that? Alright, so I'm going to let it bubble again to determine if I need to add more milk. I want it to be thick, but some people may like it a little runny. And that's where the adjusting comes in. If you like it thick, you don't need to add as much milk. But if you like it a little runny, then that's where you can add a little bit more milk. You can adjust it to your taste. Adjust, adjust, adjust. That is just perfect. Look at that. That is perfect. Ain't that pretty? And just take all those flavors that have blended in. I'm actually going to add a little bit more milk. The more it cooks, the more thick it is going to become. And once you have reached the consistency that you want, then you are done. And let me tell you, this is going to be yummy. Over some biscuits, I got the biscuits ready. Oh yeah. And I also have some cream potatoes that I've already cooked. So I like to add a little bit of this, pour it over top of it, pour it over your biscuits, pour it over your pork chops. If you use the leftovers for breakfast the next morning, add some milk or some water to it. And it's good to go again. But actually, when it sits overnight in the refrigerator, it will thicken up. Oh yeah. Enjoy! I know I will.